Hello everyone, today I want to show you some mods that in my opinion every player should have. Do keep in mind that I am not saying if you don't have one of these mods you should immediately go and farm it, because as you casually play the game you will get most of these mods. But there are some mods that require your special attention, so I will put this icon on those. I'm just keeping the other mods in to prevent some situations from happening. For example, you're MR10 and you don't have continuity. Additionally, this icon means that this mod has a prime variant worth getting. I won't put it on all the mods that have primes, only on those that you should get. With that out of the way, this is how this video will be. First, I'm gonna show you all the mods in their categories with their drop locations. And then once that's done, I will show you all the mods again, but this time by drop location, so this way you can farm multiple at once. Also, keep in mind that mods with more than one recommended drop location will be shown multiple times in that section. Additionally, I will explain some stuff for those of you who don't have a lot of experience with the game. However, that's gonna be towards the end of the video, and here are the timestamps for it. The rest of the timestamps are in the description. Mods sorted by categories. Warframe Mods, Duration Mods, Augur Message, Constitution, Continuity, Narrow-Minded, Range Mods, Stretch, Overextended, Augur Reach, Cunning Drift, Strength Mods, Intensify, Blind Rage, Transient Fortitude, Augur Secrets, Power Drift, Efficiency Mods, Streamline, Fleeting Expertise, Aura Mods, Enemy Radar, Steel Charge, Power Donation, Physique. By the way, don't underestimate Enemy Radar, in my opinion it is one of the best auras. Speed Holster, Swift Momentum, Aerodynamic. Other useful mods: Flow, Hunter Adrenaline, Handspring, Thieves Wit, Natural Talent, Quick Thinking, Enemy Sense, Adaptation. Just a heads up that Adaptation is by far the most important survivability mod for most Warframes. Peculiar Bloom, Peculiar Growth, Aviator. Primary mods: Raw Damage mods, Serration, Point Blank, Split Chamber, Hell's Chamber, Heavy Caliber, Vigilante Armaments. Be careful when using heavy caliber, it can ruin some weapons, but on the other hand, on some weapons like the beam weapons, it has no negative effect at all. 90 mods: Stormbringer, Cryo Rounds, Hellfire, Infected Clip, Charged Shell, Chilling Grasp, Incendiary Coat, Contagious Spread. 60/60 mods: High Voltage, Rhyme Round, Thermite Round, Malignant Force. Keep in mind that High Voltage and Thermite Round can also be bought from Baro, so if you don't want to farm them, you can just wait for Baro to bring them. The same thing applies to all Electric and Heat 60/60 mods. Shell Shock, Frigid Blast, Scattering Inferno, Toxic Barrage. Critical mods: Point Strike, Vital Sense, Argon Scope, Hunter Munitions. Just a personal preference, but Argon Scope and Hunter Munitions are not as good as you might think they are. They are good in some cases, but most of the time they are not the best pick. Blunderbuss, Ravage, Laser Sight, Hammer Shot. If you're wondering, yes, that is the only place Hammer Shot drops. But if you don't want to bother with farming it, I guess that is understandable. Other mods: Fast Hands, Tactical Pump, Chilling Reload, Seeking Fury. I generally don't recommend Punch Through because most often than not it's quite insignificant, but I will mention Seeking Fury because it has reload too. Rifle, Shotgun, Arrow Mutations, and Vigilante Supplies. Vile Acceleration, Speed Trigger, Shotgun Spaz. Sniper Ammo Mutation, Wildfire, and Blaze. Yeah, Blaze is a staple mod for status shotguns, and that's the only place you can get it from. Rifle Aptitude, Stabilizer, Shotgun Savvy. Don't underestimate Stabilizer, it can significantly boost DPS of some weapons. Secondary weapons: Raw Damage mods: Hornet Strike, Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Torrent. Magnum Force, Augur Pact. By the way, Augur Pact ain't that big of a deal, I just mentioned it because it has plus damage, but in reality, unless you are missing mod capacity, you wouldn't be using it. 90 mods. Convulsion, Deep Freeze, Heated Charge, Pathogen Round. 60-60 mods. Jolt, Frostbite, Scorch, Pistol Pestilence. Jolt is only obtainable through Baro Ki'teer, however it is tradable. Critical mods. Pistol Gambit, Target Cracker, Hydraulic Crosshair. Just a heads up that even though I do mention Hydraulic Crosshair, I wouldn't call it a mandatory mod. It is okay on some builds, but it isn't amazing. Other mods. Gunslinger, Quick Draw, Slip Magazine, Anemic Agility, Pistol Ammo Mutation, Energizing Shot, Ruinous Extension. Energizing Shot works a lot better with higher fire rate weapons and it's a game changer in Index. Ice Storm, Steady Hands, Sure Shot. Again, don't underestimate minus recoil. Melee mods. Raw damage mods. Pressure Point, Condition Overload, Spoiled Strike. Spoiled Strike is only useful for stat sticks. Attack speed mods. Fury, Berserker, Gladiator Vice, Quickening. I suggest buying a Berserker. Farming it may take an eternity. Despite that, it is quite a cheap mod to buy. 90 mods. Shocking Touch, North Wind, Molten Impact, Fever Strike. 60-60 mods. Voltaic Strike, Vicious Frost, Volcanic Edge, Virulent Scourge. Again, Voltaic Strike is exclusively acquired through Baro Ki'teer, aside from trading that is. Critical mods. True Steel, Organ Shatter, Blood Rush. As soon as you get your hands on a Blood Rush, unless it is a heavy attack build, you never use True Steel. Other mods. Reach, Spring-Loaded Blade, Drifting Contact, Weeping Wounds. Range is everything for a melee, so having at least Reach or Primed Reach is a must. Killing Blow, Corrupt Charge, Life Strike. The first two are staple mods for heavy attack builds. Stance mods. Swooping Falcon, Swirling Taiga, Final Harbinger, Cyclone Kraken, Blind Justice, Vulpine Mask, Defiled Snapdragon, Wise Razor, Bullet Dance, Slicing Feathers, Pointed Wind, Stinging Thorns. Pointed Wind is more AoE and Stinging Thorn is rather single target but has more damage. Spinning Needles, Seismic Palm, Brutal Tide, Vermilion Storm, Shimmering Blight, Twirling Spire, Clashing Forest, Reaping Spiral. Shimmer is more sustained DPS and it is a lot better for low levels. And it also has an amazing forward heavy combo. But Twirling Spire is better overall, and especially at higher levels. Tempo Royale, Crushing Ruin, Astral Twilight, Sovereign Outcast, Coiling Viper, Atlantis Vulcan. Parazon Mods. Runtime, Auto Breach, Untraceable. These three can make a spy mission a cakewalk, especially places that you can't use a cipher. Companion Mods. Link Health, Armor, Shields, and Regen. Medi Pet Kit, Pack Leader, Medi Ray, Hunter Recovery, Animal Instinct, Tech Enhance, Fetch, Vacuum. Vacuum and Fetch are absolute essentials, and Tech Enhance is a staple for Semita Kavats. Don't ask me how we mod Kavats. Sharpened Claws. Armor? What armor? There's no armor here. Mods sorted by drop location. Tier 1 Defense, Tier 3 Defense, Dark Sector Defense, Dark Sector Survival Tier 1 and 2, Tier 1 Excavation, Tier 2 Excavation, Tier 3 Excavation, Tier 1 Spy, Tier 2 Spy, Tier 3 Spy, Important point here, you can get A's and C's together on a spy, so it's a lot easier to farm these at once. Lua Spy. Same thing here again, but even better because we want A's, B's and C's. Kuva Spy. Hive Caches. Kuva Extermination Caches. Tier 2 Void Sabotage. Just one wanted drop in this farm and it only has 4.4% drop rate. Unless you want some relics and you're really fast at it, I wouldn't blame you for buying this one. Deimos Orokin Vaults. Cetus Bounties level 5 to 15. Cetus Bounties level 10 to 30. Cetus Bounties level 20 to 40. Cetus Bounties level 30 to 50. Cetus Bounties level 40 to 60. Ghoul Bounties level 15 to 25. Ghoul Bounties level 40 to 50. Fortuna Bounties level 20 to 40. Necralisk Bounties level 15 to 25. Necralisk Bounties level 30 to 40. Tier 1 Nightmare. Tier 2 Nightmare. Tier 3 Nightmare. Arbitration missions and shop. Bosses: Sergeant Lekrill Jordas Golem. Bosses: Jackal Captain Vor Alad V. Bosses: Ambulus Hyena Pack Tile Rigor. Boss: Zealoid Prelate. Terra Corpus. These are the lower level Corpus enemies. Generally for these you want something similar to a Toroid farm. But after a bit that you let the beacons run, you will start getting elite units which have different drop tables. But in this instant, they have better or similar drop rates for these mods, so you can let loose and go for the elites if you can. Terra Elite Corpus. Corpus, Vapus and Base. Vapus is basically the base enemies at Jupiter, and they have for the most part similar drop tables. So everything I say is for both. Corpus. Others. If you're looking at a thing called Comba and another one called Scrambus, and you're like, the frick is that? It is equivalent to a Nox or maybe a heavy gunner for Corpus. They use a very annoying dome thing that nullifies some abilities depending on which unit they are. There's a lot of variation in these. Generally the dome is your Q. These are not nullifiers, by the way. Grineer. Other. Kuva Guardians spawn best at Kuva Siphons and Floods, so that's another reason to do those. Infested. Others. Corrupted Vor. Corrupted Ancient. Corrupted Spectre. If you don't know what these are, maybe check the timestamps. Ghoul Alphas. These are the big boys you only get in Ghoul Purge event bounties. Ghouls. Others. Sentients. Others. ESO. Lua Puzzles. Baro Ki'teer. Orokin Containers. The others. Rotations. Rotations are like different pools of rewards, and we have rotations on a lot of stuff. Generally they go like this: A, B, C, and every time you get a reward you will move forward in the rotation. For example, at a defense, wave 5 and 10 are A, 15 is B, and 20 is C. After that you will just repeat the process. However, this is not always the case, and here are some exceptions. Spy and Sabotage. Rotations are based on total hacked vaults or acquired caches, and not their name. So if you want a rotation C, you need to get all 3 vault or caches. Also, when you get a C, you always get an A and B with it. This means that you could grab one and fail the other 2 and you just get an A. However, since you can't just extract after hacking a vault, it is way faster to get all 3, at least in the Spy. Bounty rotations are time-based. They rotate every 2.5 hours, and every time you will get a new rotation. However, if the first one was an A and the second one is a B, to my knowledge there is no guarantee that the third one is gonna be a C. It may very well be another A. So you might have to check every now and then to catch the bounty rotations you want. Tiers separate different reward pools for different missions. Generally, different tiers are different level ranges. However, not necessarily different planets. Also, we can have multiple missions on the same tier, so you can see which you like more and do that one. Just a heads up about dark sectors. When I say tier 1 defense, that doesn't mean Koba on Earth. The following is all the missions in each tier, but only for the stuff I mentioned in this guide. Tier 1 defense. Tier 3 defense. Dark Sector Defense. Tier 1 Dark Sector Survival. Tier 2 Dark Sector Survival. Tier 1 Excavation. Tier 2 Excavation. Tier 3 Excavation. Tier 1 Spy. Tier 2 Spy. Tier 3 Spy. Lua Spy. Kuva Spy. Hive. Kuva Extermination. Void Tier 2 Sabotage. Orokin Vaults. Orokin Vaults are similar to a door and they can be unlocked with a dragon key. For that, you need to equip the key prior to starting the mission in the gear items. There are 4 keys and each of them gives you a debuff. Ideally, you would want 4 people with 1 dragon key each, but let's be honest, it is quite difficult to find people for Orokin Vault runs these days. So more often than not, you will just take all 4 of them at once and just run it yourself. You would also want a Warframe that can go real fast, since the most annoying of the keys is hobble keys, which makes you very slow. The farm is generally done in Deimos capture, so you don't need to worry about having a lot of damage or dying because all you need to do is capture the target and then go straight for the vault. But if you don't have a Semita Kavat, I highly suggest you scan some Kavats as you're there too, which in that case you would want some CC in your kit as well. My recommendation is Titania with the 4th ability's Augment, because, well, she's the fastest and she also has some CC in her kit. Link in the cards for a quick look on Titania. Bounties. For bounty rotations, refer to rotations section. Just a heads up, Cetus is at Earth, Fortuna is at Venus, and Necralisk is at Deimos. I have used this format in the video. When I say B/S3, that means in rotation B, stage 3. Keep in mind, in this guide, everything is either stage 1 or last stage. And generally when farming something in the last stage, you don't want to miss any bonus objectives. So either recruit or run solo. It may be a bit slower, but keep in mind, if you don't miss any bonus objectives, you will get double drops from the last stage, so it's completely worth it. On the other hand, if you are farming something in the first stage and you don't want any of the rewards from other stages, you can abandon objective right after you do the first stage. This is done by getting a bit close to the objective and then running away, and then you will have a timer that when it reaches 0 it says bounty failed, but you will still keep that first stage reward and you can repeat the process. Or alternatively, if you have a really good hard drive, you can extract and start the mission from there again. Orokin Containers. This, while not being a super hard thing to explain, I won't explain it in this guide. I have linked a video in the description. While it's relatively old and it's not perfect, it's a bit too long for what it wants to tell you, it is the best one I could find. Lua Puzzles. There are 7 different Lua puzzles. Their official name is Halls of Ascension. A bit of a mouthful, but I will just call them puzzles because that's what they are. Puzzles. In this guide, I only mentioned Power Drift and Cunning Drift, so I will just show you these two. Cunning Drift. First, you need to find this room. It is a pretty big room with 4 pillars in the middle. So at the very beginning, you shoot these thingies at the either sides. After that, the water will flow and you can start the puzzle at the very center. Then you gotta make this security mechanism destroy the blue parts on the pillar. It generally targets the host and it is best done by 1 player. After all 4 pillars are destroyed, you go to the middle again and grab your reward. This one is probably the easiest of all puzzles. Just charge the 4 battery-like things around the room with energy from frame or operator and you're done. The middle section opens and you grab your reward. Nightwave. Nightwave is technically an event, but it is incredibly long, and except for 2 weeks between episode times, it is always up. To get stuff from Nightwave, first you have to do some challenges, and at certain ranks you will get some Nightwave credits, which then you can spend in the cred offering, and after you go past rank 30, every rank will give you Nightwave credits, Arbitrations and Arbitration Store. Arbitration is a game mode that you will unlock after you finish the star chart, and what that means is that you should complete every single node. After that, you will unlock Arbitrations in your alert tab. It will refresh every hour. Keep in mind that you can do each arbitration only once, so once an hour. One of the main things that you get from arbitration is Vitus Essence, which can later be traded for other stuff at Relay. Just go to where Arbiters of Hexes are and this guy will trade those Vitus Essence for goodies. Ghoul Event. Ghoul Purge event is a common event that usually happens once or twice a month, and it functions similarly to Cetus Bounties, except it doesn't have any rotations. ESO, Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, which is a mission that you can start in Star Chart in the Syndicates tab, though you need to finish the new Strange quest to access it. You get that quest after Europa Junction. G3/Stalker. These are mini bosses that can randomly spawn mid-mission, but only after you trigger them initially. To activate Stalker, you need to kill a boss, and if he sends you a message after it, then you know he's onto you. And to activate G3, you need to do 5 consecutive invasions against Grineer. These are the invasions if you didn't know. Baro Ki'teer. Baro, also known as the Void Trader, comes every 2 weeks and stays for about 2 days. He brings a lot of different stuff and trades most of them for ducats and credits combined. He is also the only source for primed mods. Also keep in mind that not all of the prime mods are worth a damn. That is why I have marked some mods with primed icon, but not all of them, since not all of the prime mods are actually beneficial in a meaningful way. Boss/mini bosses. There are some big fellas that I recommend for farming, so here are their locations. Nightmare. These are the missions that you unlock after you finish all the nodes on a planet. It is shown by this little reddish icon. They generally also have a modifier, but most often than not, it barely changes the gameplay. And here are Nightmare tiers. Dark Sector. Dark Sector missions are infested missions with a little dark icon on the node that can be found on almost every planet. If you don't have any, and some have more than one, but what I want to say is Dark Sector missions have their own tiers and drop tables. Corrupted Specters / Apothecs. Titania Quest minor spoilers. First, you need to have Titania Quest done. You should craft these things called Apothecs by scanning some plants and then equipping them in your gear items. Then go to Earth, any mission really, move around and try and find this tile. If you have an Apothec equipped, when you get close to it, Lotus will tell you that you're close.
My readings indicate an increasingly advanced neural network beneath the forest floor. This can only mean one thing: the Silver Grove is nearby.
Index. Index is this mission in Neptune. It is the go-to pure credit farm until you can do profit takers in below 7 minutes with a chroma. Keep in mind that I said pure credit farm, because stuff like Railjack can make you rich passively. Generally only high index is used because of how easy it can be with properly modded weapons and Warframe. And that's it. If you want me to make a specific video, do tell me in the comment section below. And I have a question for you. How about making a few stories, like Warframe stories? Stories that generally take place in Warframe universe, animated, but not necessarily a guide of some sort. Would you be interested in that? Do let me know in the comment section below. And with that done, have a great day and bye bye.